Yeah, let's go ahead.
Mike Dolson,
I'm here.
Tom McDonald, Jennifer Finley, Jim Molitor, Carol Langford, Danielle Matt,
Here.
Bing Matt, James Steele Jr.,
Yes.
Martin Charlo,
Present.
Len Tootie,
Here.
Lenny Strahan.
Jimmy, will you give us a prayer this morning?
None of us come shooting today. I call on you to be with us and guide us through what the work we do for our people. Keep us so close to our people, and so we can hear what they ask of us, what they need of us, and just be with us. Ask you to look over the elders. Look the children, look at our children, and just you know, that's for these people, people that have lost family members. It's been a bad couple of weeks here, and so I just have you look and be with these people, comfort them, and ask this in your name. Amen.
I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you, Jimmy, for the prayer.
Not dead.
Our first order of business this morning is we have a birthday boy today. So if we could sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jimmy. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
We do have minutes. October 21st.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, Martin.
on age of 2 of 13, where I'm asking for the information to be sent out about capita, could we also include the elders increase, please? Motion to approve the October 21st minute.
Motion by Martin to approve the October 21st minutes. Second by Len. All in favor? I've got 6-4 and Jimmy abstains. We have an agenda for today. Anybody?
I think it was last week, tribal member Genevieve Morjo came in and visited us with about a couple issues. One of them was tribal credit. Did we have any staff follow up on that? And
Yeah, Greg was finding out about it and Charmel was finding out about it. We haven't got a report back yet.
okay. Can you find out the status of that so we can get back to her? And
We can.
I think that's another issue we should try to tackle at some point in time is regarding these people that have outstanding loans with tribal credit. And as I mentioned before, just the way the loan payback is set up, when they get too far in arrears, they're never going to get caught up Because once they get paid back the interest, they're way beyond trying to be caught up in. And I think we need to take a look at those, because if we calculate all the numbers right, and it shows that the loan was paid back with the appropriate interest, I think we just quash them rather than continue to collect from them and take their per capita. There's more tribal members out there that are in that situation that we think are out there. So
That needs to be a credit policy and we need to discuss that. And in addition to that, we also need to look at the education. Getting tribal education and economics together to talk about the educational loan.
Yeah.
And the things that we might forgive in terms of education, what priorities we have. They're already talking. And so we should have some sort of report from education and economics
okay.
sometime not too far in the future.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Lynn. Other things for the agenda? Lynn,
Motion to approve.
motion by Martin to approve today's agenda with additions. Second by Jimmy. All in favor? We are unanimous on that. We don't have any walk-ins, do we, Jen? I think our only walk-in might be Greg.
Two teeth request.
But I do have a request from Greg to talk about the upcoming meeting with EKI sometime today. I don't know what time we were wanting to do that. Yeah, now it'd be as good as any, and no, it needs to be executive. Okay,
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask Jordan to be part of the discussion that I want to have with council.
we'll go out of regular into executive. Looks like John's up. Morning, John. How they doing?
Just number 119. Good morning. First of all, we're here for some task order modifications, contract modifications, and there are four of them. All we're doing is looking for an extension for the period of performance. We've had some problem with the BIA. The other ones are getting supplies. And would you like us to go through each one, or can we do all four at once?
I think if you'll list the task order and title, we can do all four of them.
Okay.
These are all modifications in when they'll be completed.
What's that?
It's modifications that'll extend when they'll get completed
Exactly.
on all four of these with no other changes.
No. So task order 119 is for doors and window replacement, funded through ARPA. Task order 133 is siding windows and doors. Task order 134 is
Oh, that's the big ARPA one that we had the POP for December 31st of this year, but we're extending it to December 31st of 26. And task order 211 is for the doer site prep work. And basically what that is we're waiting for power down at Dixon to hook that trailer up down there. And those are the two or the four modifications that we're looking to extend.
Questions?
Question.
Go ahead, James.
Yeah, thank you. Can you list or can you just briefly where each of these are being done at? Thanks.
So task order 211, that's the one in Dixon for the power for the trailer. 134 is just umbrella ARPA is just a contract to sign a contract with SKMM to designate the funds. Task order 133, sidings, windows, and doors are at Kick Mission, Longhouse. And 119 is Kicking Horse.
Len, were you making the motion? Motion by Len to approve the extension on these four task orders. Second by Danielle. All in favor? We're unanimous.
Okay. And this next item is a request for action. It's for the Natural Resources Doer Department. It's for housing. All we're looking for is not money or not a contract, but just approval for Plan A, which is we put 3 locations that we could use for doer housing. One is in Ronan, the old Second Circle site. 2 is Kicking Horse, the housing residential sites, and the third one is a Kicking Horse dorm sites. We'd like to just get approval for them. Probably start on 1, 3, or 4 units to begin with, and then as we need more, we would look at the other 2 locations. An alternative location would be the Ronan Master Plan. Probably not a very good location, not a good idea. I mean, that would seem more for different housing. But I'll let Rich talk a little bit about his vision here.
Well, it's not just my vision, it's the vision that we've been looking at since we've noticed, we've all noticed the high cost of living here and the difficulty of us recruiting or hiring professional individuals for the NRD doer positions that we have offered in the past. And what we are looking for is the beginning of being able to investigate areas within tribal lands that both Tony, myself, and John, Casey, and members of SKMM have looked at as potential sites to where we can look at developing single or multi-family homes or duplexes to provide temporary housing for future employees of the Natural Resources Department, specifically the doer or anything that happens for the water compact. Currently, we are not at full staff yet, and we foresee in the future that we're gonna need, employees, professional employees to implement, portions of the water compact that we are in control of here on the Flathead Indian Reservation. So we looked at, three specific sites that took us a while to get there. And this doesn't mean anything except that we're going to start investigating. I'm looking at the old Second Circle site, the Kicking Horse housing site, some homes that are old or dilapidated that would need to be remediated. And then the Kicking Horse dorm site that is still there and I believe has some lead paint or asbestos that we got to deal with. I like the second two because they're out of sight a little bit. The first one is good, being the old Second Circle site, because it is in Ronan and close to where the office will be. But all three present its own unique challenges, but also opportunities. And so that's what we're looking for. And it's, frankly, it's just the fact because here on our own lands that it's getting very difficult for people to live here or afford to live here and even find housing. And I just don't see the prices coming down anytime soon. So that's it in a nutshell, Mr. Chair and members of the council.
Good, Daniel.
Hey, I like all those locations. They sound really convenient. This is the kind of growth that I would be really excited to have in our community. The agency lots have easy access to water and sewer and electric. There's no tear down. There's not a ton of site prep that could save lots of dollars and really boost our community in a good way, something that we've been trying to do. So I understand the need for these locations and I'm good if you guys go that way, but I would ask that you consider, or at least drive through, look and see if it's something you would consider.
Good, Jen.
Yeah, thank you for thinking outside the box and being really creative. I think this is a really great idea. Just right now, looking on my phone, a quick Google search, the average price for a home in Polson starts at $563,000. That's out of range for most people, and that's the low end. In other places, home prices might be going down, but not around here. And especially, I don't know a lot of people who could buy a house for $500,000, even if they have a really good job. That's just out of reach for most people. So I like how you're thinking. Thank you for bringing this forward. Thank you for being creative and coming up with solutions. Thank you.
Go ahead, James.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chair. Rich, thank you for this proposal. I appreciate as well thinking outside the box and figuring out how we can support our workers. I'm definitely these are some properties that we're not utilizing already. So I appreciate you looking at some of these things that are just kind of setting and need something done with them. So I appreciate you looking at them. I know a number of us have been by the Second Circle quite often. I've been out that way a few times this last few weeks, and it just kind of sits there and I'm like, why aren't we collectively doing something with that in particular? But I definitely support you, Rich, looking at these and thinking, how can we support our workers? I think we need to be doing that across the board with the different departments and programs that we got, trying to look for workers and recruit workers when we don't have a place for them to stay, or even our own tribal members that are searching for a professional degree and are working on a professional degree and have no place to get into when they come home. But thanks, Rich.
Lauren, go ahead.
So would these be ownership or rentals or mix? Who's gonna, if they are rentals, who's gonna manage them? If they're home ownership? there's, yeah, I mean, if it's home ownership, are we gonna have non-member professionals owning these houses? Or, we gotta figure out some plan before we jump into this.
Go ahead, Rich.
Thank you, Martin. No, we envision this to be part of their pay, I guess. It would be a rental agreement. And we'd collectively come together and determine how that would work and who would manage the site for us. I don't think NRD is in the realm of being a rental agency or something like that. So we'd have to look at maybe our economic development office or those type of entities that already do it for us. But no, they would not own them. No, they'd be the tribes' homes.
Yeah, definitely connect with Jordan because we're looking at property management, something for economic development. So this would actually fit really well in that.
How many units are you anticipating?
We really haven't gotten there yet. We're looking at, 1 to 4 units initially. Looking at, a single family unit and a multi-family unit. Anticipating that we're seeing more single professionals coming out of the workforce. Less people are having children. And then also, looking at that professional that may have kids. So we just want to have a good cross section.
Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, I've been bringing up the idea of property management for quite a while. It's something that we desperately need. But also creating more housing is really important. When I was a teacher at Rocky Boy, they provided teacher housing. And I had a huge 3-bedroom house that was very nice, that was maintained by the school, that I rented for $300 a month. So that helped them get teachers out there who, it was just a way to get a workforce. And they weren't ownership, so that they had like a row of teacher housing, and then they had apartments. So they had like smaller apartments for, smaller, like single people or maybe 1 or 2 people. And then I think they had a laundry facility available too for the people who live there. So anyway, it's just a really good way to attract employees, and especially in this market where even if you have the money, sometimes there's just no inventory. There's just nothing. So great idea. Thank you.
Go ahead, James.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. We recently bought I don't know how many lots there were are we in executive or open?
We're in open.
Well, we've recently bought some land up in Polson area that, I think has a number of lots on it that might also be potentially consideration for some kind of development. So anyway, just the thought. Thank you.
You're looking for a motion, I take it.
Yes, sir. Motion to approve this,
To do discovery on these 3 properties.
motion from the tribal council to move forward to plan a housing sites.
Motion by Jen. Second by Danielle. Go ahead, Martin.
Did we just get this today? Because I didn't have it in my packet.
Yeah. It's today. And this basically just for discovery. All in favor? We're unanimous. Do your discovery.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Morning, Ruth.
before I go into the issue that I'm presenting on in follow-up to what Rich is presenting, the workforce housing needs, ongoing, continual need, mostly for tribal members that already work for the tribe. We're not trying to recruit them here. So I urge you to consider in the discussion, the full discussion of what that need is. We have people who, just like Jennifer's speaking of, just trying to rent, trying to live relatively near where they work, where their children go to school. The need is immense. It's not changing. Mortgage rates, you can't buy, even if you have the income and the ability to pay, you can't get into a mortgage at reasonable rates. The inventory is limited. Building is pretty much off the table unless you're earning a very high income. Most of us are not in that bracket. Rental is beyond reason. I don't even know how people rent. It's something that has always been a high concern of mine. But I do want to offer there is a resource available as leveraged funding. Tribal Health received ARPA funding 4 years now. It was identified in the description of public health workforce. There were no prescribed uses of that funding. It was just over $600,000. So you could do something like leverage it toward developing workforce housing. The need post-pandemic and during pandemic has always been difficulty in recruiting healthcare positions. And tribal health has been going through that for a long time, just trying to get people of professional provider level, psychologists, pharmacists, doctors, dentists, and so on. So it would behoove them to be looking at that need as well, just to sustain the workforce that they have. I just wanted to offer that. Just glad I could hear what that idea was as it was presented. So this resolution today is, go ahead, sorry.
Good.
Thank you for saying that, Ruth. I know a lot of renters who had rentals that they could afford. And because people can make so much money off selling their homes, I know a lot of people who had their homes are being sold because, I mean, if I sold my house right now, I would make a lot of money because I bought it low. Now it's just like climbing and climbing. But then where else would I move to? What else could I buy? I mean, you know, all the other homes are like $600,000-700,000 now. So it's like, no, I'm gonna stay where I am. But a lot of people are renting, and then their landlords are like, hey, I can make $800,000 off selling this property that I bought for 200,000. And then, yeah, so it's just it's a terrible time to try to find a place to live here. Thank you. And we should have the best housing. This is our homeland. Thank you.
So today I have before you a resolution to approve the FY26 spending authority for Quicksilver. Quicksilver is a non-appropriated program. They are running on their own generated revenue. So they estimate their coming year revenue and then they project to expend accordingly. The requested authority will be $4,333,215. So we also base that on actual revenues. They're not allowed to expend beyond what their actual revenue is.
Questions? This is something that happens annually.
Yes, it is.
Motion by Martin. Second by Danielle. All in favor? We're unanimous. Thank you, Ruth.
Great, thank you.
Just want to add that, I think it's important to note that Quicksilver employees have, the most professional customer service over there. So I think it's important to note that because, that was part of their training process and I always pick up on that when I go in there. Just wanted to mention that.
I agree wholeheartedly. Sam? Where'd Sam go? Samantha here? He's on the phone. Morning, Sam. The one that says talk.
The one that says talk. Sorry. Good morning, everybody. We are here today just to present this resolution to apply for an IHS tribal injury prevention grant. So it's a 5-year grant that is $150,000 a year per year, not including indirect costs. And so with the Part 1 application, it would be that we would hire a full-time injury prevention coordinator position. We did have that added onto the org chart the last time I was here. So we're all set to implement that if we are successful in our application. Our initial focuses for year 1 and 2 would be onboarding that injury prevention coordinator and then getting them all appropriate certifications and trainings needed, and then doing a tribal injury prevention or tribal injury profile, kind of seeing where our biggest problems are. And then also, because we're already doing quite a bit of work in elder fall prevention and pedestrian safety, we would continue those in year 1 and 2. And then by year 3, once we have that profile, we would use that and the upcoming community health assessment that we're working on with public health to roll out to inform years 3 through 5. And so that is part of the grant, I guess, allowances is that you can have a detailed plan for year 1 and 2, and then year 3 through 5 is kind of a as you go. And so, yeah, I guess the request today is just that you guys approve our desire to apply for the grant. And I do have a handout here if you guys wanted to see in more detail. Okay. This is the actual resolution, and then Hallie can hand out just like a summary of the plan. There. Just that though, right? So I'll leave it here.
Questions? Go ahead, Len.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. And thank you for coming in this morning. I always enjoy these types of funding projects. So other than hiring the coordinator position, what other examples can you think of that how can we use this funding with the community?
Yeah. So the part of the year 1 and 2 plan would be that I as PT and then working with the public health team and their public health educators, and then also the care coordination team with their CHRs and community health nurses. And then through the DHRD Elders program, kind of partnering with all of them to do a home safety assessment that's like an evidence-based assessment versus just kind of, taking a checklist that we've developed. There's a program called Capable. They use a nurse and an OT to do the assessment, but because we don't have an OT, we would just adapt that program to bring PT. And so we would be doing more of those in-home safety assessments, and then also looking at the home environment. And so building up those partnerships for year 1 and 2, and then again, years 3 through 5, if that tribal injury profile and the community health assessment that will hopefully be completed by then show that we need to redirect efforts into other injury topics, we would shift gears.
Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, as part of this plan, or maybe not this plan, but overall, would it be possible to offer some of these classes, maybe like at lunchtime, one day a week at the complex? Because, we have a lot of elders who are still in the workforce. And are any of these classes offered online? Because I know some elders who have a hard time getting out, but they would do these in the privacy of their own home.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's so important to prevent falls, once people fall, it's
Yeah.
causes all kinds of other issues.
Yeah. So right now we have our Tai Chi program is offered remotely so it's Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 a.m. on Zoom. And so that one is kind of you have to start it at the beginning because it builds upon itself over the 9 weeks, I want to say, that it runs. Whereas Sail right now, like that was the one that I used to run here Tuesday and Thursday mornings. Our plan is to try and get that going again because I am now the interim rehab division director. I've shifted. I'm not quite as involved in the clinic stuff until I can get that program or the rehab division going. But our goal is to get Pablo going again. So like somewhere, if we're back here in Chambers. And then once we see how the remote delivery of Tai Chi is received, we've gotten mixed feedback right now on some people really appreciate, the accessibility of Zoom, whereas others are like, I really miss the in-person, getting to interact with people part of it. And so once we evaluate the responses on that, our goal is to offer Sail the strength and balance class through Zoom too. And so, but yes, we actually have a training coming up next week where we're going to train additional public health team members, fitness center staff, and a few community members in how to be an instructor for Sail. And so we're doing that Tuesday and Wednesday in Ronan. And our goal is to just keep building that pool of instructors so that we can offer classes wherever, whenever, kind of. Yeah.
Entertain a motion to approve the resolution to pursue the, IHS tip cap funding opportunity. Motion by Jen, second by Jimmy. All in favor? We're unanimous.
All right. Thank you all. Have a good day.
You too, Sam. Catherine, come on up. Morning. You only hear that when you get in trouble?
Good morning. Today, my request is to first do a quick update and possibly get a signature from Chairman for a letter of support to Marshall Mountain. Our friends down in Missoula had went through the process for phase 1 of federal funding for the park out at Marshall Mountain. This is now phase 2. They've been approved, but they have to go forward with a second pot of money through the National Park Service. Communications with the park manager down at Marshall Mountain is that they have been approved to go ahead and apply for National Park Service funding, but as we all know, with the closure, funding is a little slow. So the anticipation is that with this letter of support, they can continue on, submit their proposal for the funding, and hopefully not too long later, they should be getting an update back if they have been able to be approved for that actual funding. And so what makes this funding in our support to Marshall Mountain so important is that during the phase 1 update, when we had the managers come up and present in front of tribal council, we had outlined some special interests that had come from either resource staff or as well as both culture committees to have some cultural exchange opportunities, education, some co-managing type work, co-stewarding, making sure that resource departments are communicating back and forth for some of the outline for stream restoration. I know Vice Chairman had talked about some bull trout initiatives. So there's different elements in which CSKT will continue to support Marshall Mountain. Hopefully with this letter that they can go ahead and get approved for some NPS funding. They will be closing that this Friday. So Again, today's request is to have some time to review this letter and hopefully get a signature, and we can send that on down to Marshall Mountain Park Manager.
Questions? No objections? That's all I'm looking for, is if there's any objection. If not, consensus to support the letter.
All right, I will be sending Jen the copy, and then we can get I know you like to do some wet signatures. We'll get that, and then we'll go on with our work. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Katie.
Looks like you have Chauncey online though, Mike.
Morning, Chauncey.
Good morning, Mr.
Esquix, Pesio.
Mayor, to speak for me. Thank you.
Esquix, Pesio. Today we have 4 different journal entries that we need to get taken care of. Yeah. The first one is journal entry number 21. Contracts and grants created the tribal bill with TBC for the grant, and also we did. So we just need to do a journal entry to cancel one of the TBCs out. Do we want to do approval on all of them or one at a time?
I think all of them.
Okay. And then the next journal entry number 22, mid-year, the number was changed on the grant and we got the correct grant number mid-year. So we just need to correct that as far as moving the funds from the old grant number to the new grant number. Journal entry number 23, contracts and grants, changed this one mid-year, and it just needs to be corrected and changed over to the correct grant as well. Journal entry number 28, the payroll was charged to a closed program account number because the new program account number had not been put into the system expediently through, I don't know if it was contracts and grants or accounting, either one, but we do now have the correct account number and the payroll needs to be moved from the closed account to the new account.
Any questions? Welcome a motion. Motion by Jennifer to approve these 4 journal entry. What do they call them? Journal entry corrections. Second by Len. All in favor? We're unanimous. Yep, we're unanimous.
Okay, lunch.
Thank you, Mary Rose.
Have a good day, everybody.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Len?
So I noticed there's been various departments coming in and requesting journal entry corrections. And, you know, I'm not really too cognizant of how those journal entries work, and that's my fault. But isn't there anybody within our staff that can approve these kinds of corrections rather than those coming into council for our approval?
I think they all end up on Greg's desk. That is a possibility. It is.
Mistakes are going to happen because these journal entries, you have many staff members that are reviewing these and looking at these and preparing these, putting them together. Mistakes are going to happen. It's just the way it is, just the nature of things. But yeah, I would think that we would have somebody in our finance department overlooking these and being able to approve these right on, so they could continue on with the getting these completed, and rather than having to wait to get on the agenda, to get on council, to get our approval.
I'll ask Greg to bring in the policy so we can actually see what the policy says.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Martin?
Haven't we bounced back and forth on this? Where we don't want to see anything and then we get to see all this monotonous paperwork that we should trust our financial manager and then we give it to them and then this is, I think this is the second time that we've had this discussion about this, so we gotta decide whether or not we're gonna get into the weeds on things and leave them or go back the way it was.
Well, that's why I like to look at the policy because I think it's extraordinary circumstances that bring them in. And sometimes that is necessary for council to see. Jennifer.
I say I have Steve on for the next one, and then if you guys wanted to do a break before legal.
Sounds very good. Morning, Steve.
Good
There's
morning.
Steve.
I'm having trouble with my buttons. How we doing? Just got notice that we're on today. I think I was thinking I was gonna be on Thursday. I just got out of the dentist's office, so sorry for the delay. So we're looking at approving a JE. This JE was moving the salaries of 4 employees, which are in the paperwork, from our 3767 native plants grant, which expires, and we need to pull this money down be quite soon, and moving it into our TSI account, which is Timber Stand Improvement. Those folks work in the greenhouse growing our plants, native plants, and we are trying to take that money out before we lose it.
Any questions for Steve? Motion by Lynn to approve the journal entry corrections. Second by Danielle. All in favor? I got unanimous. Thanks,
Thank
Steve. You got
Thank you very much.
question? Hey, Steve.
Yes.
Hang on.
Steve, Len
Yes.
here. Couple
Yes.
questions here. So has there anything changed about where we are selling our timber?
Where we're selling it, we still have 2 main mills that are buying timber, Thompson River and Weyerhaeuser up in Kalispell. The Deer Lodge mill, Sun Mountain has bought some in the past, but we understand they're having some financial issues also. Some of our loggers are trying to move their pine. They're moving their pine to Idaho. That's the only avenue they have to sell their pine. It's not a very cost-effective method, but they're kind of like breaking even on it. If it's part of the timber sale, they need to have a way out to get that timber, to the mills. Other than that, we really aren't having any changes in our mill situation.
Okay. Steve, the reason why I bring this up is I wanted our tribe to start looking at how we can create a tribal tariff-free trade corridor with Canada. And one of the things I was thinking about was our timber products. If there's opportunity for us to move our timber and sell it up in Canada and utilizing the Kootenai tribes up there as our corridor where we wouldn't have to pay the tariffs or vice versa if we were going to purchase from them. But I was just looking to see if there is even a market for our timber in Canada. That's a possibility. You don't have to answer that now, but that's just what I'm thinking along the lines about.
Yeah, that would be great if we could
Question.
find a pine market in Canada. I think it might be even closer than going all the way to Idaho, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we could find another outlet for our pine, that would be outstanding. But we'll look into that, see if we can come up with something.
Okay. All right, Steve, thank you. That's all I had.
Okay.
Tony, did you have some?
Oh,
What
the
this
boss.
administration did was so much or wood was coming from Canada to the United States that that's why they put a lot of these initiatives and the executive orders out. It's kind of the opposite. I don't think Canada wants to buy our wood. I think Canada wants to sell United States wood. And so that's, I mean, the possibility of pine could be up there. I just don't know. We haven't explored that route because there hasn't been a influx of need ever from Canada to buy wood from us. So
James, you got some?
Yeah, to add a little bit to Len's comment, we're actually specifically talking with the Kootenai bands up there, and we're working on updating our what we're calling a protocol agreement. Might be something else called that in the future, but that's what we're specifically looking at. If there's ways we can work with the Tunaha bands in Canada in more of a free trade type of agreement, whether they have the ability to process our pine or what have you. So it's not necessarily Canada buying our logs, but it's specifically working with the Kootenai bands of Canada to see if there's ways we can be creative and think outside the box in relation to us being able to trade with their bands up there tariff free.
Would there be a wood market that we bring their lumber down and sell their lumber tariff free?
that's something we could look into. I mean, anything's possible on that front. If there is a trade, tariff-free, free trade across for the border for that, I mean, we could be used as a vendor of that resource. That could be an opportunity. The other avenues we've been looking to, Len, is trying to, and I know Pat, the program manager, timber sale program manager, has been talking to state authorities, other, agency representatives, and trying to figure out what their thoughts on using or pushing the rail company to upgrade their rail link to allow for using rail to transport logs. And nobody seems to be on that same board. And I think it was because they didn't want to work with the previous owner, but with the new owner of the railway, I think it's a new conversation we want to bring forward to them of setting up outlet posts, because it's not just us having this wood market issue. It's the Forest Service, it's BLM, it's other enterprises that are having issues. And, with the new chief forester, Tom Schultz being, Idaho mill guy, it seems like he would help connect the dots, but we're just waiting on him to help try to connect those dots and pushing that issue forward. So, they got more mills in the Northwest, definitely further west than us. They have way more mills and able to take that market and take that wood, but we have no avenue of getting it to them besides by truck, and that doesn't pencil out. So we need to figure out another transport system.
In addition to that, I think, just thinking out loud here, that we should get a survey or an inventory about what all of our corporations and what the tribes are purchasing from Canada, and that are being subject to this tariff, that we're able to bring those through the tribal trade corridor. How we can work with all those tribes in getting these products over here. And And the reason why I bring this, what the importance of this is it strengthens our sovereignty, shows our sovereignty, that we're not gonna have to comply with Trump's tariff policies. That we're a nation to nation. We could do this on our own, and we could provide these products to our corporations or to our people through this process. So that's my thoughts behind all this, and I just wanted to throw that out there to get us thinking about how we could do this, because not really sure how this tariff policy is going to impact us in the future, but we need to surely start thinking outside the box here, figure it out. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Steve. Jen,
Can we go into executive before we go for a quick break?
we will go out of regular into executive. And I need a motion to accept the balloting. Motion by Jimmy to appoint Janelle McDonald to the SKC board position. Second? Second by Bing? All in favor? And you can vote. Okay. We have 8, 4, and 1 abstention. Danielle abstains. Thank you, Mel.
Break now until,
Short break.
I know 5 of you have seen these videos, but we're glad to get a majority to have a chance to review and provide a thumbs up for us.
I think just their size. People do not realize their size and beauty, and they are just almost majestic in a way. Bison remind me so much of Native people because of what all we've been through. You know, they battled brucellosis. We've battled smallpox, but we're still here. You know, they've almost become extinct.
Are we zooming it so they can see? Okay, well, we're. So. Now we're on Zoomed. Okay. Play button is right. Oh. Let me make, okay, make full size. I think it's hidden under the.
I think just their size. People do not realize their size and beauty, and they are just almost majestic in a way. Bison remind me so much of Native people because of what all we've been through. You know, they battled brucellosis. We've battled smallpox, but we're still here. You know, they've almost become extinct. And we've almost become extinct, but we're still here. And so I think that relationship, you know, that we have, that reciprocity that we have together, I think that has helped us be where we are. But yes, I still, especially every spring when the new babies are born, and then that's new life and that's new generations, I think that, yes, I still love to see them.
I want to keep what's mine alive no matter what. I always look at my job as a gardener and how I have this gardening box and I have all these different flowers and they're different colors and shapes and sizes and they're from different places, but that doesn't matter because when they come to my garden box, I'm going to water them with skyliu and kasanka and kudlispe knowledge of what I know so that that grows. So I try really hard to maintain that growth. So my job is to facilitate education in any way about the 3 tribes that live here on the Confederate Salish and Kootenai tribe. When they come to my classroom, they are met with the kindest, happiest Skythleo woman that they've met. And then that's their first interaction. So that pruning comes with kindness. We're having Native American Awareness Week, and it's just a week dedicated to teaching about these 3 tribes to the local schools, getting in touch, making connections, and reminding people of our history here and the people that live here.
MAC Days is a fishing event that began in the year 2002. It is a tool used by fisheries managers to reduce the non-native lake trout in Flathead Lake and increase the native bull trout and West Slope cutthroat trout in Flathead Lake. In the year 2000, the state, the tribes, and the Fish and Wildlife Service started what they called 10-year management plan on Flathead Lake. And in that plan, it called for a reduction of the lake trout and to increase the native fish. They came up with these fishing events. There's 2 a year, spring and fall. They're 9 weeks long, and anglers come out and fish in our event. They can fish one day or they can fish every single day. The native fish were here thousands and thousands of years. And lake trout came along, and in 1905, they were planted here. In the mid 80s, they exploded. Their population did, and our native fish populations just tanked. So we're trying to get those populations back up because in 20 years, you don't want somebody looking at you and saying, what happened out here? The native fish are gone. I've experienced through all of my jobs working with people, with our tribal people, that food, dance, and songs brings people together. There's a lot of times where we'll put the word out, we're having this event or this is happening, and people will trickle in slowly, and it might be small. The minute we say we're having a feed, we'll feed you, come and join us, people show up. And I believe that food helps bring people together and also brings conversation to the table. And then songs, I mean, music, I think is a welcome component of our culture and traditions, and people love to learn our songs and sing them. Yeah.
I think that's 4 of them. I can go through 4 more, but I'm just giving you opportunity to. I can continue.
I mean, it's a sense of place or a sense of belonging. You know, if those younger birds are coming up here and they're raised here, you know, and they start to have young that are born here and raised here, that they will come back here. You know, and it's like any of us. If you're born in a place and you're raised there, I mean, you're gonna fall in love with that place and call it home. Even when you leave home, there's always that thing that's pulling you back to come home, you know, because that's what you know. My limited role was just like overseeing, making sure they have what they needed to get this beautiful bird back, you know, and just being able to watch these majestic creatures in action, you know, whether it just be just swimming along the lake or the lower Flathead River, or just seeing them flapping as they battle each other for the right to mate, or just hearing them trumpet, you know, as they're flying. I mean, it's just amazing to see because they're large birds, you know, and they're protected, and so we can't, or nobody can hunt them or shoot them. And so people come from all over the world to watch them.
I don't know you if you would call it as even as recreation, historically. Sitting there fishing and I was thinking like, I'm not going to keep these bass, and eat them. I view this as recreation or do I view this as practice? you know, think of it as practice for survivability or existence or substance. It's still where we start to blend the two different worlds that we live in now of traditional use versus recreation. It's a hard one for a non-member or outsiders to answer. Are you recreating or are you using your traditional rights? And that's, of course, we're using our traditional rights. And the world we live in now, we don't have to solely depend on only what we can harvest anymore. But we still want to be able to harvest and utilize when needed or where needed.
So we are on the Confederated Salish and Kootenai Tribes Bison Range. It is 18,827 acres. We have bison, elk, white-tailed deer, mule deer. We have a small population of pronghorn or antelope. We have a small population of bighorn sheep as well. We have all predators, including grizzly bears, black bears, wolves, mountain lions, bobcats. So we have a very nice variety of wildlife. We are one of 8 reservations within the state of Montana. Within those reservations, 12 nations are represented. So this is the museum where we do several tours. We have over 1,000 students that come through per year, both on reservation and off reservation. One of the biggest and most important things of this museum is this is our story told by us. So this is our opportunity to have our history told by us. So we talk about the importance of everything that the bison provided for us. And so the hide with the hair left on could be used for clothing, for bedding, for trading. Tools were made from the bones of the animals. That's a scraping tool. Rawhide would be used for, that's a parfleche. Rawhide could also be used for, this is a dipping bucket. Bones could also be used for needles, for arrowheads. That's an awl. Hide could be braided for rope. Hair was braided for rope as well. This is a horn cup, which could be used for drinking. The horn can also be would also be carved into spoons. The hides could also be tanned and used for teepees. Usually we have students in here with their reusable water bottles. And I talk about how, the bison bladder is a natural carrier of water. And so that was the original water bottle. So, and they're usually like, so.
That's our favorite video of the leader.
So all we're looking for today is approval of these videos so that way they can post it on their social media pages and their website.
Motion by Len to approve the use of these videos. You got the releases from the folks in the videos?
They went in knowing they'd be released, so they're.
Did they get to see them before we approve them?
I cannot confirm or deny that, Senator.
Second by Jennifer. All in favor? That looks unanimous.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Council.
Aaron. Bob. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Michelle.
Good afternoon.
It was interesting to see your crew walk in one and then a few minutes later another one, a few minutes later another one.
I sent Pat up and said, send him down.
There you go.
So Miranda is on Zoom, so I'm going to turn it over to her and then ask her staff to come up here.
Afternoon, Miranda.
Hello,
Miranda, you
council.
can do your screen share.
I was just gonna have them do that there, Jen. Because it's up on the laptop, correct? Jen?
Be here in a minute.
Okay. Council, can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. And Alfred, I see you right now. Advocates, can you do a quick introduction before I get started? We have a new advocate on board.
My name's Alfred DeRouche. Oh, on this one. My name's Alfred DeRouche. I'm an advocate for tribal ed, working in the Polson, Charlo, and in Kusum schools.
My name is Sarah Big Sam, and this year I am a tribal education advocate for Ronan, Dayton, and St. Ignatius schools. And I also help with JOM in early childhood services.
I'm Silas Perez. I'm the advocate for Arlie Chalip. I think I said that right. And Hot Springs.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Silas is our new addition, and it has been great working with all three of our advocates and along with our wraparound facilitator. Today, we're coming to you guys to approve the updates we made to our JOM policy. So you guys, that document starts on page 61 for you guys, but I know it's up on screen. So we did work with our legal department regarding these updates and for wording and where we could place things in here. So if we go down to page 60, Council, if you need me to go slower I jokes, they're scrolling it there. Never mind. I apologize. I'm scrolling on my screen. If you need them to go back to anything, please stop and let me know and we can head back to that. Our first update starts on page 64. And so when I was visiting with legal, we originally had the obligations specifically under the IEC. So we actually separated that out as a portion of our tribal education advocates. And you'll see that top on the screen, that highlighted section, that there are specific things our advocates do when it comes to our Johnson O'Malley list. So that's kind of separated there. And then towards the bottom of the page is where you'll see those IEC obligations starting. But again, we just made them separate. The next update on page 64 is the IEC confidentiality requirements. So in working with legal regarding our Johnson O'Malley list and how we're able to share those with our IECs is where we came up with the add-ons to this whole section. So basically it talks about how we are going to be able to share our Johnson O'Malley student list with our Indian education parent committees and how that's going to work, because we do work closely with them in regards to end of the year honoring of specific students on the JOM list and possibly any classroom expenditure requests that might come in that IEC, in order for them to serve those students along with our education staff, we would need to share that list with them. So each thing is going to be outlined here. If you guys have had the opportunity to look through that, we really key in on specifics for the list, that it has to be specifically used for the purpose that's being requested, how we'll safeguard lists along with the Indian Education Parent Committee. And in talking with Michelle, we're going to start by using box.com, which is a very secure FERPA and HIPAA format that is being used currently, and we'll start utilizing that for safeguarding these with passwords. And so that section goes to the end of the page. Then you'll see those IEC obligations, as I mentioned earlier. And then if we scroll down to page, I didn't highlight it in here, but starting on page 67 we're starting to go through our Johnson O'Malley calendar. And so we've outlined a few things in here, kind of none of this for the most part has changed. The one thing we did change in here, and in talking to legal, it's just one of those things we will change. We currently in the policy are stating we're going to hold 3 Indian Education Parent Committee trainings based around IECs and Johnson O'Malley, but we're going to cut that back to 2 per year instead of 3, just because our schedules get pretty hectic. It's hard for us to come together to plan those. So currently you will see the months of October, February, and May. They're still all listed in there, but we'll come together as a staff before we finalize this and take one of those out or change a month, of which 2 months we want to do versus 3. Then on the very bottom, page 70 and then 71, and this is all under our IEC code of conduct, which we talk about our background checks, but we did do one add-on to page 70, which again is talking about the confidentiality of the JOM list and the needs assessment surveys, things like that, that we have things laid out for the IECs on how to handle those lists, and when we're done with the list, of destroying them and shredding them. And then in honoring what legal had mentioned on page 71, it was literally putting the IEC confidentiality, which we had up top, also in the code of conduct. So we're coming in just for asking approval of the updates to the JOM policy so we can get them out to our Indian Education Parent Committees.
Any questions? Entertain a motion to approve the updates to the JOM policy. Motion by Martin. Second by Len. All in favor? We're unanimous.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much. We so appreciate it.
Thank you, Miranda.
Yep.
Thank you, advocates.
Thank you.
This afternoon, I have the program managers for DHRD with me. I'd like them to each introduce themselves and just briefly tell you what they do. We'll start with the department head.
Good afternoon. I'm Corky Sias, Acting Department Head for DHRD. And we'll have our lovely staff come up here and come on.
Natalie, Dana, Karen, Diane.
They're a little bashful this afternoon.
Apparently.
Oh, so Dana Morales, and I'm social services, and I basically see the day-to-day of, we have CPS, foster care licensing, and Second Circle Lodge. I think I caught everything, other than, our receptionists and support staff. That's pretty much what we do, is trying to make sure that we fall within the guidelines in protecting our kids.
Thank you, Dana. Let's do, Karen, you can come on up.
Natalie was in front of me.
She's helping someone.
Good morning, or good afternoon. I'm Karen Renz, Finance and Grants Division Manager. I provide oversight over the LEAP program, VOC Rehab, the State Tribal Partnership Program, Tribal Core Improvement, and the Home Visiting Program. We have about 42 accounts running into FY26 that total about a little over $27 million that we're currently managing. And just want to give you the heads up on our LEAP. Okay, so our LEAP model plan has been accepted. However, we have not received the notice of award for FY26. So unless we're able to come in and get an authorized spending authorization, we won't be able to spend any money except our carryover, which is going to be about $120,000. And we currently have 116 elderly and disabled, which is going to exceed our carryover amount if we supply them with the award money, because that's who we'll be serving first. So there you go. Any questions?
Thank you.
That notification usually comes in late November or early December, but we don't know about this year, so.
Hi, I'm Natalie Kenmill. I'm the Division Manager for Community Support. In Community Support, we have the Child Support Enforcement Program. We have the Commodities, the Food Distribution Program, and the 477 Program, which is workforce, cash assistance for families and individuals, and the child care program. We also have the emergency assistance, which is dire need, and the 477 Office of Community Support. We help all tribal members, federally recognized tribal members, and if we have non-members in our TANF homes, we assist them also.
Thank you, Nat. Rhea?
I'm the administrative manager.
I don't think it's on.
Turn it off. Trying to be effective. Anyway, I'm the administrative program manager for DHRD. My title kind of encompasses quite a few different things that I do, and one of them being I am in charge of hiring and advertising employees for our division, or for our department, excuse me. I am the liaison between our department and personnel, so that is my biggest role. That's it.
Okay, thank you. We have Diane, but she's helping someone. We have Diane too, but she's helping someone and we're going to let her keep doing that. So online, we have Nick with us. He's going to introduce himself, but he's also going to talk about this SNAP fiasco that we're in the middle of. So Nick, we're going to turn it over to you.
Okay. Yeah, just let them know. Give me 1 second and then I'll assist them here as soon as I'm done meeting with them. Yeah. Where's that mic button at again? Oh, did I already push it? Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, so sorry about that. We've been so inundated with a lot of people coming in here to close their SNAP cases so we can get them qualified for commodities for next month. They have to do it before 4:30 today. But we're also making sure that everybody, knows about the choice that they're going to make. So I'm Nick White. I'm the program manager of the Food Distribution Program, also known as FDPIR. We provide USDA quality foods to eligible American Indians and non-Indian households that reside on a reservation and to income eligible households living in approved areas near a reservation or in Oklahoma that contain at least one person who is a member of a federally recognized tribe. Families cannot be enrolled in both SNAPS or FDPIR. We encourage everyone to contact FDPIR and SNAPS for more information. FDPIR and SNAP participants know you cannot be enrolled in both programs. It has been this way since the beginning, and it is known at time of signing up for either program. We encourage anyone who may have some confusion or questions about the enrollment and eligibility process to contact SNAPS or FDPIR. We may be facing some troubled times, but with less confusion and knowing all the facts will help everyone make an informed decision. At the commodity office, we offer home visits, appointments at their home to do certification, recertification to our participants for commodities. We do monthly deliveries to all of our communities on the reservation, and we even take deliveries over the phone to make sure that we get our food to our participants that same day. Commodities recently purchased extra produce for our participants, And we have like mixed squash, potatoes, carrots, red beets, cabbage, sweet onions, eggs, hamburger, and canned salmon that participants can also get on a weekly basis on top of their monthly commodity order. Our program information will be advertised again in the local papers, and on a radio ad will soon follow. Our state warehouse has assured me we can place another order to help assist with the influx of participants that we may, get from snaps. And, commodities is open to suggestions, comments, and we're here to work with any other programs to help assist them in every way. And I recently found out that Commodities has been serving the community for 67 years.
Can you please speak a little more to the choices that our SNAP recipients currently have?
So
Go
currently, what we're trying to do is, we're trying to make sure that we give the SNAP benefits people who've been calling all day today are coming into the commodity office, that they're aware of their choice. We don't know how long this shutdown is going to last, but if they decide to unenroll in SNAPs and come over to commodities, they have to do it by the end of today at 4:30 to be qualified for November. They wouldn't qualify for October because they already received their SNAP benefits for October. I don't know the loading up system for the SNAP benefits, but if it's not done by today, then their SNAP benefits, even though that they're not going to get any, technically would be loaded up for November and so on and so forth. So say the government decides to stay shut down for November and December, opens up in January, everybody's cards get loaded. If it's loaded with retro pay, people who decided to stick it out with snaps will get all of that adjustment on their cards. However, the people who decided to disenroll from that program will not get any of those benefits, but they would have the benefits of the commodity office to back them.
Nick also explained that if they decide to stay on SNAP and wait this out, that there's surplus food available at the commodity store for anybody who needs it. They just have to go there. So they don't have to actually be commodity participants to go there and take advantage of the surplus that he purchased. And Dana Huancorn and I met this morning, and she also has food available that she'd like to prioritize the SNAP recipients that decide to stay on SNAP. So all they would have to do is come and show proof that they're on it. And then she's got vegetables and meat that's available. So we'd like to make those participants a priority over everyone, but no one's going to get turned away from either of these.
Right, Jen?
Yeah, my question is, with such short notice, there are going to be people who didn't see this. And I like Facebook and social media, and mostly I watch cat videos, stuff like that. But I'm not on there every day. Sometimes days and once in a while weeks will go by and I don't look at Facebook. I'm not on there all the time. And so there's other people who might not see it on Facebook, or they don't read the newspaper, and they're going to miss this deadline. And so is DHRD equipped to create food vouchers for people who maybe they just didn't have time to respond to this, and then and they might not even know that SNAP is gonna end. There's going to be people in that boat.
Yeah.
They're gonna be expecting funds that aren't going to be there because they just weren't aware of that this was happening. Thank you.
Yeah, you can sit right here. So in addition to what Karen's going to share with you, Nick said that nobody is going to go hungry on our watch. So if they miss the deadline and they decide that they want to disenroll, they still can do that. And then commodities are going to support them, but DHRD is also coming up with a plan to support our people.
So I sent Corky an email yesterday. So I did some research on how TANF could assist families too, and it could be used as a supplement, like 150 for two, family of two, and then $250 for a family of three. It's a supplement to the commodities, and then higher if the commodities program cannot provide the nutrition foods. I forget what it's called. I put in an email to Corky. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's like a 4-month assistant program that TANF can do for families that were SNAP eligible, and they could supplement the commodities. Like if they get low on meats or whatever, or milks or whatever supplements, then TANF can supplement it. But I gave Corky the verbiage. I don't know if he forwarded it to you. Okay.
With the food voucher, right?
Yeah, with the food voucher. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My other question along those lines is about WIC.
So I don't-
Formula, I mean, it's been a really long time since I bought baby formula, but it was so expensive. And so the people who get WIC really need that service. So are WIC benefits going to be cut off too with the government shutdown?
So there's no definite answer to that at this time. I think we're gonna have to wait and see, but so far they're focusing on SNAP, and WIC has been mentioned, but not like directly stated that we're not gonna fund WIC for November. And so we'll come up with a plan if that happens too. Because you're right, formula is very expensive. And so yeah, I'll put the smarter people than me together and we'll figure it out.
Go ahead, Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was going to actually ask that same question that Jennifer asked, but so when I think about, your department, Corky, we asked last month, I think it was Len asked that question of what was the like 477 funding and what was there, what's like unspent, and knowing that for workforce development and TANF, whatever, that there's different ways to skin a cat. There's other monies out there that we can support families in need, for those that are struggling in the workforce. And if something goes away like food stamps or as Jennifer just second question asked about was the WIC program, can we find other sources to do that? And so if you always have a plan that you're thinking outside the box, how can we fill this niche with this other funding source? Let's utilize those resources. Let's maximize that opportunity. Not only for this, maybe this is a moment that we seize that opportunity to really think about how we can use the funds that we have to the best of our ability and think more about doing that. So I would look at this as an opportunity of how we really think outside the box, how we put every one of those dollars to work for our workforce, for our people, or for our families, and use this opportunity. So I appreciate Michelle saying that they'll look at everything and everything's on the table. So I appreciate that.
Go ahead, Michelle.
So one of the things that we got to experience when we were in Red Lake was an answer to this that they've already done. And they have pockets of resources. One of the resource rooms that we got to see is specifically for moms and babies. And it had a stock of everything you could possibly think of that they would need, like even those little nose suckers, right? They had everything in it, and they had it in the language too, but that's exactly what Tom's talking about, right? If there was probably 5 shelves of formula in that room, diapers, pull-ups, blankets, pajamas, you name it. It was all brand new, just gorgeous. And they do that. They don't accept people's hand-me-downs because they say our people deserve the best. And so I think that that is a model that we need to follow. I think that that's beautiful and our people deserve the best.
Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, this morning we were talking about trade routes and working with some of the other Kootenai bands to bring in duty-free, tariff-free merchandise. I would think that this is an area where we could really look at diapers and formula and just give them out to people. And find a way if we could import them duty-free, tariff-free, that we could work with our other Kootenai bands and establish a trade route to get these items for people because it's so expensive. And I mean, I buy diapers for my grandson and they're like $50 a box. It's expensive to have a baby and some people have a bunch of babies. And so, you know, if there's even when the government reopens, the price of everything is going up because of tariffs and because of all these other things. So I think we should consider baby formula and diapers and what food items could we bring across. And I really like the food sovereignty program that they just provided boxes of food and anyone could go without checking their status of, you know, what program they're on. I think it should continue to be that way. People should be able to go get a box of food and maybe because they already have a well-oiled machine of distribution. And if they had baby formula and brought it to every community, people who needed baby formula or diapers could do that. And they could, I don't know what they do in the wintertime, but they could do that. They have the trucks, they already have all the necessary infrastructure in place to just continue doing that. If we get food donations or find ways to bring in cheaper food, not cheap as in low quality, but if we can really look into establishing a trade route with Canada as a nation for food, and we should do that.
Go ahead, Karen.
I think social services currently has funding that could probably support that project with the baby formula and the diapers. And I think if someone was able to find good prices and they're or able to order in bulk, you know, because it would be better, but I don't know the expiration dates on, you know, formulas and stuff like that. So I don't know how much bulk they'd want to order, but I know that they do have the funding that could promote safe and stable families and promote the diapers and the formulas.
Go ahead, Len.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Corky, do we have a transportation plan in place where we could go pick people up and have them sign up or disenroll or whatever, but just to make sure that they have access to this? And
Yes, we, today we had, our mechanic staff, which are part-time drivers. They were all available today to give anybody a ride to commodities or to the SNAPS program. So they were there today available just because our drivers are already scheduled. So they came up, and even office staff said that they would drive today for the SNAPS program.
Go ahead, Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I got to follow up on Michelle's comment on we want the best. I want the best for our people. But sometimes things trouble me when I think we buy something that's too expensive when we could have got a lot more. I think Jennifer talked about it. It reminds me of the, you know, the amount of dollars that like Missoula Eats spends compared to like our food sovereignty spent with their grant from Headwaters. We could have got 3 times the amount of food with that grant versus what they spent it on. I mean, that's just me, and it's great. I enjoyed it. My family enjoyed it. It's good products, locally grown, but sometimes in order just to make sure that we're covering and meeting our need, we might have to buy generic brands or something of that nature. So I think we really need to follow suit with what other people are doing, and we don't need to recreate the wheel on where the best products are or where the best deals are. That's all out there. We just want to make sure that we stretch every dollar we have to the maximum capability that we can do. That's what I really am interested in. So however we think outside of the box, you know, wherever the best deal is, it may be we end up with some kind of a trade agreement with our Canadian sister tribes, and we can bring things tax-free across the border and provide that to our membership. That would be wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. It actually start a new economic enterprise for us, and a deal for actually all of Montana would benefit from that, because then we could sell products to everybody else through our own distribution system. But anyway, I want to encourage all of you to be able to maximize those funding sources that we have. And when I think of we have carryover, that's nice. Like an example for this, or some carryover that you have, what, 100,000? Is that what you said, Corky?
125.
Yeah, for LEAP, or that's what it was. You know, for certain things, we just need to focus on where we historically are carrying. We're not meeting the need. We have carryover. That's great, but then why was there carryover? Because I can guarantee you there's people that probably could have used that money. Probably could have used it to pay their bill that year and done something else with that funding that, or, wouldn't have gotten in trouble financially, so sometimes it worries me when I see we have big carryover. We have money left on the table that we have to return, or it demonstrates that we don't have a need. I want to just make sure that, we spend every dime we have, put it into use, and everybody's working hard on it. And I know you all try, but it's like the times are tough and we need to try harder because we're facing all these human caused catastrophes with this administration, and they do not like us. They do not like poor people. They do not like people of color. And they're at full frontal assault in war with more than half of America. And so we need to be prepared and do everything we can. We need to put our A-team together. We need to make sure that everybody's working together. We can't have any silos. We need to share everything we can. And that's the fundamental basic things about these guys back here is we share. When people are in need, we're all human beings and we share everything. And that's a fundamental value that I know that you're carrying on in your mission, each one of your programs, and each staff does that. They want to thank you for your work.
Go ahead, Karen.
Our carryover, we got to carry it all over. So we were under the 10%. So we didn't lose any this year. So I'm very happy for that. And we didn't turn anyone away. So we served as many people, every applicant that was eligible. So I think we're doing really well with the LEAP. And I'm glad that we had some funding to carry over because it's helping us through FY25 until we get our notice of award. Because this is right now the scary part because we don't want to turn anyone away. So.
Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, I just think with the rising cost of food and with everything, is there a way that DHRD clientele could just get an automatic food voucher that everyone just gets a certain amount? And I've mentioned this example before. I cook with olive oil, and at Safeway, I thought it was a mistake. It was $35 for a bottle of olive oil, and I thought that was a typo. And then the one next to it was like $50. And so, you could see the price of everything going up. And I just think eventually the government's going to get turned back on, but it's going to be harder to get assistance. It's become more prohibitive. And if we could just kind of anticipate that the cost of things is going up and everything is so volatile, if DHRD has that in their budget just to do that. And my other question is, are there stores that would, if we say we will buy 100 food vouchers from you, will you give us 50 for free or something like that? Because every year for Christmas, all my kids are coffee drinkers. So I buy little gift cards to the coffee shops. And some of them are, if you buy $50, or if you buy a $25 gift card, you'll get a $25 one for free and stuff like that. There's incentives that they give, so they want your business. And I'm wondering if there's a store, whether it's Safeway or I don't know about Super One, but Walmart, or even if it's in Missoula or Kalispell, Costco. Costco didn't roll back its DEI. So if we say, hey, if we buy one of our members, if we buy them a membership, can they get a discount or something like that? Or if we buy so many memberships, can you give us some for free? And just see who's willing to work with us that way, because ultimately they're going to be getting business. And if they can lure people in their store, maybe they can keep their business long term. They'll keep going there. So that's a question I would ask too, is if we do food vouchers for people, who would give us a discount for bulk purchases?
Kirk.
Yeah, we work with also Walmart on the same issue, is if we buy so many car seats from them that they will match a certain amount if we spend, I think it was like $10,000 worth of stuff on car seats, that they would match $5,000 more worth of car seats that they would throw in. So that could possibly work with Walmart or the different stores we have online too. So I know Walmart does it though.
And so then to clarify, your first question is, can we just automatically do food vouchers for TANF eligible people right now? Okay. Yes, the answer is yes.
if they're TANF eligible.
if they're already TANF eligible.
Go ahead, Lynn.
Yeah.
If they're TANF eligible, we can do food vouchers. If they're TANF eligible, which we have households who don't really want to be on TANF, but they meet the guidelines and the requirements, we can do food vouchers for them also.
I got Lynn and then Jen.
Oh, okay. Just a quick question, Michelle. So in regards to food inventory,
Mhm.
how many months of food do we have?
So specifically, where are you asking? Commodities or commodities? We're set for November, but we also, as Nick said, have the availability to reorder if we need to. So let's say, because there's no way for us to really know what that onslaught is going to be. If we get halfway through the month and we're running low, he can place another order with the state and get it in time.
Jen, then Tom.
Yeah, I would definitely be in favor of everyone just automatically getting a food voucher because I saw that the SNAP program, they're limiting what people can get.
Mhm.
So items that they used to get are, they can't just get everything they want anymore. So I think that's kind of dehumanizing.
Yeah.
And if they have a food voucher, they could maybe get some of the foods that they're used to having and foods that they want. And they wouldn't have to ask for it. They would just get that and they could use SNAP for whatever they get through SNAP. And then if there's other stuff that they're used to getting, they could still get it.
So Natalie, the food voucher, is that someone they have to request it, or how do they know that they're even eligible for it?
They can come into our office and we can determine that right there. So yes, they would have to request it. And as far as if they're on SNAPs, everybody getting it, there's the release of information that they would need to do so we would know if they were on SNAPs. So, but yes, come into the office. We can determine if they're eligible and do the food voucher for them.
Is there any way in a condensed fashion that we can get that out to your customer base?
A condensed fashion?
Oh, something like a couple of bullet points, if you're on SNAP and you got cut off, here's an opportunity to come on into the office, something
Yeah,
basic.
we are getting, to all the 477 clients, we are getting, going to be doing a mass mailing about SNAPs and what they need to do to apply for the food distribution program. But we can also at that time let them know that they can also apply for a food voucher from our office.
The food voucher topic, that would be in the letter itself?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And with our TANF individuals, usually in November and December, we do food vouchers, our gift cards, if we have enough time to order, so that they can get their meals.
Michelle and then Jen.
Could we also utilize Rob? Is Rob in here? Rob's not in here anymore. Oh, there he is. Could we utilize Rob to get that word out too, to make sure that, yeah, everything that we're talking about.
Right, Jen.
Yeah, and can we get a copy? Can we get copied on the letter that you're sending out to people so we're aware of that? And also, it just seems like it would be more dignified and easier for people when they're in that position if they're just offered a food voucher when they come in. They qualify for services, offer a food voucher. I mean,
that
there
possible?
might be some people who maybe wouldn't want it, but I can't imagine who. But I would imagine that if you just offer it as part of the service, that most people are going to take it and use it and be very grateful for it. Especially with the holidays coming up and I don't even know where those free lunches stand in schools if they're still doing that. So if free lunches no longer exist, do they?
They do.
They do.
So children that are eligible for SNAP, so if their parents are on SNAPs, then they're eligible for free and reduced lunches. Some entire districts are eligible if 50% or more of their kids are, like Ronan. the whole district gets free breakfast and lunch because more than 50% of the students are on SNAPs. Polson was, but they aren't this year. They didn't meet that threshold, but individual families are. And they just have to fill out sometimes they don't even have to fill out the paperwork. They just get a letter in the mail that says you've automatically been signed up for free or reduced lunches because of your eligibility for SNAP.
And you,
Thank you, Mr. Thank you guys for all your hard work. There's a lot of people that are going to be hurting in the coming days and the coming months. And I guess my question is there a place for people to drop off food? Where maybe some of our more fortunate people, they might be willing to share a little bit. Is there a place where people can donate food to?
Yes, so Dana Huankarn and I, at our meeting this morning, there's space at Food Sovereignty for us to do a food drive. We are holding off until we get to that point to see what the government actually does. And then if needed, then we'll get into action.
go ahead, Martin.
Have we done any extra outreach to any elders that are on SNAPs that maybe can't go to the SNAP office or the commodity office?
Diane? Okay.
Could I start? The commodities program had stated that they have gone out into all the elderly senior centers and offered to do applications for them. And
Most of our elders are not eligible for food stamps, or they only get limited amount because of their income. So most of them are on commodities. We probably have a handful of them that's got their grandkids. And we are getting out there and trying to talk to them with our home visitors. But we have 590 people on our program and we have 4 home visitors. So they're trying, but our elders are getting pretty good about calling and asking for help. They know that's what we're there for.
Are we giving out turkeys to elders this year?
Question. The turkeys were not a success. They ended up causing more confusion. So we are doing $20 gift cards. That way they're able to buy a turkey or they're able to buy a ham, however they want. And our elders they'll be getting them hopefully starting next week. Okay.
What else, Michelle?
I think that's it, unless you guys have any more questions.
Another
That's why I brought the whole crew. It was necessary.
It's good to see the whole crew.
Yeah.
Question.
Go
Okay.
ahead, James.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chair. I have a family that is raising their descendant parents, guardians, and they're raising tribal member kids. They're all related, but who would I have them contact to talk about the foster parent program?
Dana Liberty in the social service office.
Okay. Can you give me her number or extension?
Yes, I will. Hang on one second.
Thank you.
She's coming up to answer a couple of the question.
Yeah, you can reach me at our regular 675-2700 and my direct extension 1699. Yeah, 1699, or you can email dana.liberty@cskt.org. And then I'll make
Thank you.
sure, go ahead.
You just said thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you, Dana. Len, you want some?
I was going to mention that I think one of the most powerful forms of communications are these videos that Rob has been putting together. He's working hard to get these videos out, and I think it would be great if we can get one out here this week or next week. But I just want to commend Rob for doing that, because that's something we've never seen in the past, and I've seen the membership really taking a liking to it. So thank you, Rob, and I hope we could get one out soon on this process, so everybody has an understanding about what they need to be doing to get access to the food.
And he's been working with Nick, so I know they're coming up with a plan.
You know what, one question, actually, Teresa has brought this up before for the warming center is with SNK Gaming to use their extra money. I just started gambling. I'm like a little tiny baby gambler. But, you know, sometimes you get like those like 13 cents or something, and I just leave them at the place where you get your money from. And so this would be a really good time, I think, to renew the efforts there. So then there's like a drop down menu if people want to donate to the warming center or they want to donate to WIC or, you know, whatever. There could be 4 or 5 things that people could just donate that little piece of change to, because I would imagine that adds up. And, you know, we can see what other entities we have within the organization that would be willing to do a food drive. And I would think gaming would be a good one. To have people, they just get so much traffic. It's always busy in there. And if people brought in canned goods for a coupon or something, you know, I just think we can use our other programs and see how we can collaborate to get food for people.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Thank you. Just thinking about it, when I asked if we have places to drop off food, I'm thinking, why wait? Let's just get them. The holiday seasons are coming and we can use food in all of the communities all the time. So if we can come up with some of the communication there and make a drop point in most of the communities, or at least at the main tribal buildings, I think that would be great.
Yeah, Transit's will be starting with their food drive next month, next week. And we've done that for the food banks and for the college. But we can move that direction a little bit, so it's just, we'll just have a food drive. And the person can ride for free if they were charged bus pass, so we just allow them. And actually, we won the food drive last year with college. I think we had 500 pounds of food that we had donated to the college for that food drive. So we are planning on doing it again this year.
Yeah, I'm really excited. There's lots of food that goes into the food banks. Our small community is one of the few towns on the reservation that doesn't have a food bank. So if you guys do a food drive, please keep me in mind. I try to distribute food on Mondays. Some weeks I have food and some weeks I don't, but even if you'd set aside a small amount, I'll find a way to get it there. So, thank you.
Thank you, Michelle, and everybody. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you guys very much.
Keep up the good work.
Even the paper's here.
Drop off my car, go home and get my own. My car that the deer had running. It's like, oh, your guy.
Able to get it in?
Yep.
Oh, okay, good. He's a real good guy.
All right. See you.
Good.
Michelle, got a question for you too before you leave, Michelle.
Okay.
Hello. You guys all know my husband, Ruben Mathias, and he's in the hospital at Community Center. So they had to do operation on his spinal cord and the neck, but 5's like a staple in there. So it's like he's learning, coming back, you know, it's taking time where to heal it, you know, the feelings. And it's hard for him to hold a fork, feed himself. It's like baby just learning. And when he walk, he has to go a little ways, hard time breathing, but he's gonna take time. Yeah. So I just want to thank you for you guys helping us.
Thanks for the update.
Phyllis, where's he at?
Community
Community?
Medical Center, rehab. So those doctor, they said they only can allow them 2 weeks there. And then they're gonna make come home with me and then I have to take over. So I gotta go back down there and they're gonna teach me how to take care of him. So I just want to thank you for all your helps, for letting me stay with down there, you know. Thank you, you guys.
Great.
Love you all.
Thank you, boss. Love you.
Okay.
Jimmy, Ruben's waiting for you.
Ruben's
She
wait-
said, Jimmy, Ruben's waiting for you.
Ruben's waiting to see you.
And it's his birthday today. Yesterday was. So, wait, one more day, I would have been. Yeah. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Did you send out the report you had yesterday at the chairman's meeting?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some said he didn't get it, so.
Oh,
check
okay.
for my.
Yeah. I sent it to Jennifer Trahan. Okay, I'll send it when I get up. Okay.
That was it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Good job.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, I'm glad we got the food thing covered. Yeah. You guys really stepped up,
Is that?
the whole staff.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we have to, some point in time acknowledge that.
Wondering how we find out who the snaps folks didn't get the word out to make sure they get the word. What's that gap? Can we get a copy of the list? Got it.
I'll rate that department at quarterly, like. Now. See how they do? Maybe we won't be thinking that way in a month. I hope we still are.
That's our agenda. Jay Hoy.